Well, a very good afternoon to you, and thanks for clicking on to the Saturday evening edition of Vogan's Views on Europe. And mild weather continues to dominate the weather headlines across the British Isles and Ireland. Certainly is a broken record, doesn't it? It feels that way, and it certainly has been a very cloudy, misty, murky, even some outbreaks of drizzly rain across Scotland, down through western parts of England, Wales, and Ireland as well. It's all thanks to that mild air crossing over basically the coldest sea surface temperatures of the year. We're at the latter stage of the winter. Those water temperatures have been cooling throughout the season. Now, this year we've had such a mild winter. Those sea surface temperatures certainly won't be as cold as they were the past two winters, but they are relatively cold. And when you've got that warm air floating across that cold water, you've got a combination of very heavy cloud, thick, low-level cloud cover, and unfortunately, these mild air masses don't come pretty at this time of year, unfortunately. But certainly over the next, 48 hours, we're going to be seeing that ridge of high pressure producing 23, 24 Celsius quite widely across parts of Portugal, especially inland areas away from the Atlantic coastline. Wouldn't be surprised if you've got very heavy fog and cloud cover on the coast, but certainly inland you've got those clear skies and gorgeous conditions for the month of March. So if you've got family or friends in this part of the world, they're certainly enjoying some nice spring-like weather down across the western Iberian Peninsula. But even across the UK, once you start to skip through the Sunday, you notice that high pressure lifting northwards. That's going to produce plenty of sunshine across England and parts of Wales as well. Unfortunately, Ireland, Scotland as well. Yeah, that cloud cover is still lingering on, unfortunately, and we're going to be seeing that. I'm toiling with the idea by Monday, as the high pressure, if you notice here, by skip through Monday the 12th, high pressure sitting bang slap over the UK. As well as that, we've also got surface high pressure. So the favourite areas for plenty of strong March sunshine is going to be across central and eastern England, even up across eastern parts of Scotland as well. We're looking at temperatures, even tomorrow, 18 Celsius. That's what I'm calling for in parts of London, anywhere from the East Midlands, parts of London and East Anglia as well. We've got those favoured sunshine areas. I'm really toiling with the idea, do we see that sunshine start to break through, perhaps after a cloudy morning, across Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland? I do think the heights are strong enough, both at the surface and aloft, to support that erosion of cloud cover because of the warmth of the atmosphere and that height. Basically the stronger the heights, the greater the chance of eroding the cloud cover. But certainly this time of year, these high pressures can be dirty high pressures, you call them in meteorology, where you've got that heavy cloud and that combination of warmth riding over the cold, and it certainly doesn't go well. But certainly we've got if you notice here, by Monday we've got an easing of the cold over parts of Eastern Europe, across anywhere from Warsaw, Poland, down and across to Moscow. We've got the blues have actually kicked out after temperatures were down as low as minus 18 in parts of Moscow. But if you notice here, I'm going to be skipping through, the high pressure itself over the UK and Ireland starts to retreat. It starts to nudge southwards. What does that tell you? It tells me that we're seeing lowering heights across Scotland. That's going to allow frontal systems to push back in across Scotland and across parts of Ireland, northern parts of Ireland. We're going to be seeing those fronts pushing through. So an increase in wind, bands of rain periodically as well, and slightly cooler air getting pushed in. But there's no cold air. You can see that. No blues, no greens showing up. We're just going to be seeing the increase in Atlantic weather pushing across the northern UK. Notice as well, heights still strong across England and Wales, so you're going to be looking at temperatures plenty warm for this time of year, even into Wednesday. By Thursday, you notice a few things taking place here. The high pressure itself still strong. It's still lingering across England, Wales, Ireland as well. You even notice a more pronounced southwesterly flow here. Got a pretty large dip in the jet stream. We're going to be keeping an eye on that for the upcoming weekend. As well as that, you notice here the blues and the colder air working its way back into eastern parts of Europe again. So the cold air relaxes over the next couple of days, but it's going to work its way back into the same areas that has been suffering winter for pretty much since the 25th of January. It has been a tough winter over eastern parts of Europe. Certainly for the UK, that cannot be said. You notice here by Friday the 16th, the trough getting closer to the UK, we're going to be seeing a very strong southwesterly wind blowing up across the western flank of the UK. That could produce interesting conditions, interesting weather. Could we even see some surprise abnormally warm conditions with a strong southwesterly flow blowing all the way from the Azores up across the UK? This, of course, is a long way out, folks, so it can change. Also notice how the trough, huge area of troughiness, very cold air getting drawn down in the eastern parts of Europe. That is a cold, frigid, Arctic, northerly blast blowing right into Moscow. So it certainly looks as if the cold air is going to come back with a vengeance after easing off by the latter part of the week. By Saturday, and you notice here an interesting thing here, the trough working colder air back into the UK again, Ireland as well. Saturday into Sunday, you notice here the trough and the colder air works its way in. Now this was on the model last night, it's on the model today. That actually could be an interesting scenario by the latter part of the weekend. Could we be seeing snow showers working its way back and across parts of Scotland, parts of northern England perhaps? That remains to be seen. But certainly we're going to be talking about a very mild, very settled week. The northern and western parts of the British Isles will always be biased towards cloudier, damper weather. But certainly across anywhere from the Midlands down across the south and eastern parts of England, you're certainly talking day after day of certainly 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. Enjoy that while it lasts. I'm sure it will chop and change. We live in the UK. It never lasts any length of time. Hope you have a great evening, folks. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and continue to keep checking back them updates. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.